I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move to approve minutes of last annual meeting without reading.
Second.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. What are you glaring at?
Any corrections?
Oh,
I just noticed that there's a thing about the village powers. This township has already had village powers.
oh, okay. Where is that, Dorothy?
Let's see, second page, motion to grant township supervisor village powers. We already had it.
Yeah. Oh, it's still a motion. Okay. It was a formality. All right, got your financial report. Any questions?
How much money was in the tax savings account at year end?
In the bank or in the accounting system?
I'm sorry, what?
In the bank or in the accounting system?
In the bank. Doesn't the accounting system reflect the bank?
Yeah, but sometimes there's deposits in transit. Yes, we've got the revenue.
Get to see old treasurer today.
$512,113.97.
Where is that on the cash report?
It's not included in the accounting system.
How come you're hiding it?
I'm not.
If you had cash on hand and it's not on your cash report, that's called hiding it.
There's a deposit in transit.
So,
500,000?
Yes.
And that's currently in the savings account.
At the end of December, it was in the tax savings account, $512,113.97.
well, it doesn't show up in either one of the two cash recaps, the beginning or the ending. So you don't account for December tax receipts?
It shows up at the beginning of January in 2024 because it's a deposit in transit. If you look, no, so it's not, it doesn't show up on January 1, 2024 or 2023 because it's not there as of January 1.
It's in the bank though, right?
Yes.
And this is a cash report,
Yes.
so your report's off by what, $500,000?
No.
No?
Anybody else have any questions? Yeah.
I'm looking at savings highway fund, $364,000. That savings account, could you tell me what comes out of that savings account? Is that a savings account to repair roads or
That's gonna
out
go
of
on
that?
man.
Pardon?
That's going on man.
Okay, that's going on man.
Mhm.
And so like sand and salt, that doesn't come out of it?
No,
That's
that
an
one.
expense, that's expense stuff.
This was put away for man roads.
Okay. Can you, okay, and maybe this is not a question for this. I know you got grants for man road also.
Yep.
Do you know the amount of the grants for that road?
592,000 and some change.
592,000. And that came from the federal or the state?
I believe it was the state.
It was a state one,
It was
yeah.
state.
Yep.
Okay. So between the two, you know, we've got almost $1 million to do that road.
Mhm. Well, we got about six. The problem is we are gonna have the grant before we do the road.
Okay.
You don't get that till the road's completed, then you go and turn in all of your receipts, and you'll get reimbursed that money.
Okay.
All right? The project is gonna be approximately 1.6 million, so we will have to borrow some money,
Okay.
all right? Anybody else? We get a motion to approve the financial statement as presented?
I'll make that a motion.
Okay. You get a
I'll second it.
Who's second?
Dan.
Dan did? Any comments from the public? Dave?
Just a reminder, those that are here, there's tire recycling is gonna be the 27th of April. You're limited to 8 passenger tires that are free. There are no truck tires, no tractor tires. Anything, they'll take extra tires after 8, but it's gonna cost $7 per tire if you have more than 8 passenger tires. And that's out at Pankratz Trucking on Highway 10 West.
And when's that gonna be?
27th of April, and it opens from 8 until about 3. Everybody jams up Highway 10 at 8 in the morning, so
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
careful of, they're gonna try to get them in a different driveway this year. If anybody needs red cards, I have those on hand with me.
Any other comments? Carolyn?
I'd like, the chief fire at the fire department to come forward. I've received an envelope that is an anonymous donation of $23,245 to the McMillan Fire Department. Thank you for all you do serving our township. It's greatly appreciated.
Put a down payment on it.
Any other comments? Yes.
My name is Wayne Bixby. I live on Hadamar,
Mhm.
okay, off of Highway E. Our road's been pretty bad for quite a few years. I don't know if anybody knows the history of that road. It used to be Davis Lane. Marv Davis used to own it. When he wanted to put houses and create a subdivision down Davis Lane, he came into the town board and he asked, what do I gotta do? Presented his plan. What do I gotta do to that road? And they said, Marv, all you gotta do is take the top off that road and dust it. That's all you gotta do. He went down as far as Hebert's. Now that road is 8/10 of a mile long. Dead ends at cul-de-sacs. When you get to our house, that subdivision ended where our house is for a few. Years later, Marv went into the town board and said, you know, I want to extend that township down to the cul-de-sac, down into the marsh. And he went back and he said, what do I gotta do to that road? Marv, you're gonna have to strip it off, you're gonna have to dig that stuff out, you're gonna have to put a road base in, you're gonna have to let some engineers take a look at that. And that's what he did. I think it was probably 2012 they came out with the chip seal plan. Okay, I think it was 2012, correct me if I'm wrong. And they chip sealed it. Marv just kind of shook his head because he kind of understood what was going to happen. It was going to bubble up. You know, because of that clay and the spring and the water action in the fall. Even this year we didn't have much of a winter. The frost didn't go down that deep, but we still had a problem. We're going to continue to have problems with that road. Beyond me, down in cul-de-sac, it's nice. Because there's a road base in. Well, I'm wondering if the township has a plan for our road. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, does the township have a plan at all concerning the roads in our township?
What we've been doing is when we, well, this last year, this fall, we did the, what do they call that, Kurt?
Pavement ratings.
Yeah, we did the ratings on the roads,
Okay.
which we do, I believe it's every other year.
Every
or-
other year.
Pardon?
Every other year it's
Yeah,
supposed to be
so
done.
we do it every 2 years.
And who does the ratings?
Well, it was Kurt and I that did it,
Okay,
and he worked for the city of Marshfield on roads.
okay.
So we went through and we did the ratings, and we have a lot of roads in our township that are in really tough shape.
Right.
So, do we have a plan? We do, but they are for, mainly for your main roads, okay? The side roads are extra. So this year, or this last year, we did McKenna and we did Marsh.
Okay.
I applied for a grant for Scheuer Creek, because theirs is really in tough shape too, so we're waiting to hear from that.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll go from there, you know, we have a list. Where you are exactly on the list, I don't know. But we have been trying to address them all. Because I got a grant, well, you got 2 grants out there looking for at Galvin resurfacing and for Scott. There's another big one coming up, and that would be for Drake, blacktopping that. So we are trying, you know, but the small ones kind of take a beating at times.
I know Hadamar will be pricey. That will be pricey,
They all are,
because you gotta dig it out.
yeah. Well, that's like man, that's gonna be total reconstruction, and that'll be 1.6.
Right, but man's got somewhat of a base on it.
No.
Well, but it does. But it does, you know, when that, when it, I mean, it's a thoroughfare.
I mean, it's a base, but it's still in the
main
marsh,
thoroughfare,
you know,
Okay,
yeah.
but, the new developments,
Mhm.
okay, like Winterberry and what's beyond Winterberry, those have a good base on them.
Mhm.
Those contractors, those developers, put a bond in there
Mhm.
to make those roads.
Yeah.
I mean, if it were me, I'd make them say, I'd say, the home's gotta be 100% complete before you do that road.
Mhm.
Not 80% of the house is built. Because you've still got cants in there, you've got concrete trucks, you've got everything in there, ripping them up. With that 20%.
Mhm.
Okay, that's one thing. But I understand they've got a base under there. I went down Winterberry. They've got some beautiful patchwork in there where it's dug out. I mean, really, absolutely gorgeous, you know. Now, look, I understand that they've got a base, and all you gotta do is go down that deep, strip the blacktop off and put a patch in. I saw the contractors in there last summer, working.
Yeah.
I understand that, and I understand the road in the new subdivision beyond that. I can't think of the name of it. But we must have, I mean, we hired contractors to go in and fill in all the cracks, okay? So that wasn't cheap. We get a dump truck with patch, okay? They get a repair. They get a repair and fix. We get a Band-Aid.
I know.
You know, and so, that's why I'm saying it gets really critical, because the longer we let that go, the more expensive and pricey it's
Yeah,
gonna
I know.
be, you know. And everybody's slaloming, you know, everybody's
I live on a
slaloming.
road just like yours,
You
go
know.
down to Roman down here and take
Yeah.
that one home.
I believe it, I believe it, but,
Yeah.
but I think more and more people are gonna starting to get concerned about what's gonna happen with these roads.
Who do we talk to see where we're on the list?
Yeah,
We'd have to look at the ratings, okay, and go from there.
I'd be interested in knowing what the rating is, 'cause
Well, I don't know it off the
it's
top of my
awful.
head.
It's awful.
I mean, if there's a committee we can meet with or talk to, or some people.
We got a highway
like-
committee and we'll be meeting with them probably next month and then see what we got for money to do anything this year.
Okay, if we could get on that notification, when that meeting's gonna be.
Before you leave, give me your phone number, I'll give you a call when we have the meeting and then we'll go from there,
Very good.
okay?
Now, if we lived in the city of Marshall, hypothetically, and they're going down a road and say there's 20 houses on that street in the city of Marshall, right? They're gonna go down there and they're gonna say, you know, we need to do that road, that's on our plan. And by the way, we're gonna assess the houses on that street, a portion of that bill. Curb and gutter, sewer, whatever it is, remake of the road. You know. Those residents don't have a choice.
Right.
They don't have a choice, they gotta do it. But have you considered looking at that? Have you considered looking at a cost share? Okay?
With
I
the
mean,
residents?
yeah, I don't wanna pay $50,000 in a year either, just to get the road done along with everybody else.
Exactly.
You know, with 15 houses on that road. You know.
Now, did you say that that road is partially chip seal and partially blacktop?
No, it's all chip seal.
If the whole thing is chip seal?
Yes, but the problem is, right now, it would be better if it was gravel. Because at least we could take a grade and gravel it, or grade it. You know what I'm
Graded,
saying?
yeah.
And so I think, you know, the chip seal was a good thing. I didn't know it was gonna be chip seal. Of course, I don't go to enough meetings. Maybe I should have known. Maybe I should have read my newsletter, okay? But I think anybody on that road would have said, man, I tell you what, that's gonna last 1 year and that's it. Because
Especially
gonna
where it's
come
at.
up. It's gonna come up, you know? And so,
Now, are all of you residents from? Well, I kinda got the head nodding and.
so
Well,
it-
something's gotta be done. It's embarrassing when people come to your house, oh, your road's really bad.
I
Now
know.
we know.
We should talk to the township and well, that's why we're here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to voice our opinion that something needs to get done.
And I think eventually what'll happen is it could theoretically hurt your home valuation.
It will. Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yes, Dave.
Maybe you can shed a little light on that, because the road ordinance that the board passed when Davis or Hadamar was extended, that was put into an ordinance, and that's why the developer had to pay to have it dug out, base course, and having that put in, that's why that part
Right.
is better.
And I understand that, yeah.
And the other thing that I might shed some light on this would be, John, do you have our tax rate, what we had, say, 10 or 15 years ago? I know you answered that, I think, last year. Our local levy has been cut.
Yeah.
At the budget hearing in the fall, there's a motion twice to cut $150,000 out of the local levy. And that's been within the last 10 years. So 150, 150, that's 300,000. That's between $2 and $3 million that we didn't get to put back into our infrastructure to protect our residents. And I'm on the dead end road too.
Yeah.
And I have chip seal. It was originally, most of that chip seal went down in 2002 when we had a big flood. We applied for FEMA grants, and so consequently, we repaired and put in a lot of culvert work where culverts and bridges were washed out.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Okay. And they granted us some, we told them what we needed, and so there was some extra cash. So that's why the chip seal got put on some of the roads that were dead ends and so on and so forth. But my point is, in the last 10 or 12 years, the local levy has been ratcheted down. And I don't want to pay any more taxes than anybody else, but once you have chip seal, blacktop, or hard surface,
Gotta maintain.
gotta maintain them. I don't want to go back to gravel. And I'm a farmer, a former retired farmer. Our son's on a farm.
Your
and
name,
he
your
doesn't
name, your
care.
name is?
Dave Swenson.
Oh, Dave
I'm on the board now.
Oh, Dave, okay.
I don't want to pay any more taxes than anybody else. I'm willing to pay my fair share. We built our retirement home, so I'm contributing. But I think we have to revisit that.
I think you're absolutely right.
I pay taxes on county roads. So a lot of residents in our township live on county roads. And County Front E has been resurfaced like 7 years ago. Highway 97, Highway T, and it's no different at the county level than it is at the local level. There's never enough money to go around, and the cost of everything is going up.
Yeah.
So, if you, does John have that number, what we had about 10 years ago? What our mill rate
Yeah,
was?
so in 2013, the local levy was $569,000. In 2023, it was $528,870.
So actually, we had more money in 2013 than we did do now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but if you go back to 2006, 2007, we're almost 750,000.
Less.
That's in 2006, 2007 dollars. We had $750,000 to work with in 2006 dollars. So that's probably $300,000 to $400,000 difference less we have per year to work with right now, because they cut our mill rate so much. But there's a solution to that. We can all vote tonight.
No, you
No,
can't.
you can't.
Well, you can't.
Oh, only in the fall?
Yeah.
At the budget.
Okay, in the fall. We can all vote at the fall
And
meeting.
that's a budget meeting, is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In the fall it is.
Okay, that's in the fall. You know, when we built out we built 30 years ago out there, and our taxes then, to be honest with you, were about $5,500. And I thought that was a lot of money. But if I put that house in the city of Marshfield, it would have been twice that, okay? So, that was fine. But in 30 years, from 5,500, we paid almost 4,800 in taxes this year. So you see, 30 years ago, I understand what you're saying. It shouldn't go like that. I mean, it did, you know. But then again, we had a lot of development. We had a lot of doctors. There was a lot of people coming in building big homes, 3,000, 4,000 square foot homes in our township. And that's what kept the tax base lower. But, yeah, I agree with you, Dave. Personally, I don't have a problem paying our fair share, and as long as we can get those roads fixed up.
And and some people don't realize it, I'm sure everybody in the room does, when you write your check out to the town of McMillan, that includes the Tom McMillan, Marathon County, Marshall School District,
Correct.
with Granite District, Stratford Spencer, Mid-State Tech, North NCTI.
Yeah, you tell me if I'm wrong, this is kind of the pie that I've got in my hand.
Yep.
All right? 80% of it, 75–80% of it's gonna go to the school,
At least. Yep.
okay? 15% of it's gonna go to the Marathon County, okay?
Yeah,
And
actually
we've got 5% in our townships.
And then you go from that point when we do the budget, okay? Every department gets their share, right?
Yeah,
They fill out what they need or what they want, and then the highway department gets what's left.
yeah.
And that is the way it's set up.
Don't you think that should be the other way around?
You would think, but it don't work that way.
Unless some concerned people come to that meeting, that budget meeting, you know, and voice our opinions on how that should be divvied up and what that mill rate is gonna be.
So Debbie, explain to me why that doesn't work that way.
Everybody's gonna want the biggest portion of the pot, okay? You only have so many dollars to work with. The fire department comes in and this is what their budget is, what they need for the year. Buildings and grounds does the same thing. Library gets paid, and then whatever's left is what goes on highways. That is because I believe that, the only way that makes sense to me is because the town gets, what do they call it?
Transportation.
General
There
transportation
you go.
aids.
Shared
and
Shared
revenue.
with that also.
Shared
Yes.
revenue.
But as far as when we are doing the budget, what happens is the highway department gets what's left.
Well, the highway does have a budget also.
Well, we have a budget
We have a
also,
budget,
but
but whatever's
for the highway
left, which
maintenance-
is usually minimal,
Yeah.
is what is added to the highway budget.
I mean, I've been looking at some of the highway expenses, and they're not cheap. For sand and salt,
That's
$40,000,
expensive.
$50,000 bucks,
Yeah.
No, yeah.
you know, and, I mean, it's almost nicer if Pat doesn't come down and follow the road. I'll tell you why, because it's all done. You know, it's better if, and we've all got four-wheel drive pickups, you know. But what I'm saying is that, but he waits for good road days. He's getting a snowpack. He's waiting for a snowpack.
Yeah.
So that he can glide over that, you know. So he knows what he's doing,
Yeah,
you know, and he's conscientious.
so you prefer the winter driving over summer?
Well, absolutely, because that water's frozen in those
Yeah.
potholes and I can drive over it. No, you could take a snowmobile down there and fly down there, you're not gonna get killed.
Yeah, when we have our, highway meeting, I'll give you guys phone number and stuff for your call, and we'll definitely have you there, okay?
The way your budget process is constructed is that since it gets the residual amount of cash at the end of the year, it's in everyone's vested interest to keep overall spending down. That increases your highway budget. So if you want a $50,000 drinking fountain over in the park and you want a better highway, which way are you gonna argue? Against the fountain, right?
Right.
That's how it works.
So what is the budget, just
For this,
between the fire department and the highway? What is,
what do we got, John? This is last year,
No, I've got
what do we got budget in here?
I've got
Oh, yeah.
in your packet is the full year-to-date for 2023, and then the back part, the last 5 or 6 pages, it looks like, are the year-to-date through August, or April 8th. So let's see. Page 3, the bottom of page 3. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I see fuel engine 10, pump 5, ladder
That's
1.
highway, that's fire department.
Let me double check to make sure that it's showing the December full year budget though.
You're gonna be looking at Center over there. Center College.
Yeah.
On page 1 of this part, isn't it? You look up towards the top, you got 15,000 for shared revenue, okay? And then in the center column, you're looking, that goes on roads.
Okay.
And then the budget portion of it,
So yeah, down at the bottom of page 3, you'll see fire protection total 52200. The middle column there shows $107,169.66. That's the budget for fire.
look at the highway,
Okay.
And then the next page, highway,
in last page. Page 4.
probably about 3/4 of the way down. See total 53311 highways ST paint local. There's 196,660, and then there's also, you can add to that the highway ST construction local 149,076. I think. I just transcribed it. I didn't come up with the number. So I believe that was. Do you like this, man? Would you agree? Is that 149, or is that just local roads? I'd have to go back and look at the budget workshop notes.
Is that the definition here? Kind of what it sounds like to me.
It's close to it. GTA is 141, 539.
When you, decide to do a roll, say if you did have one, or you're thinking about doing that, it came number 1 on the list, okay? What's the process you go through? You're gonna go out and get bids, or you're gonna have an engineer go look at it?
I've been
Soil
having,
samples?
I have been having the engineer look at any of the roads that we're doing.
Okay, okay.
I had him down on, McKenna. I had him on Marsh, and we checked seal both of those roads. They're doing man, actually. And I had him on Galvin, and I had him on Stott, and I had him on Zag, and, Scheuer Creek. So anything that we were looking at in the real immediate for this year, basically,
Right.
we had him there.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you gotta have an engineer look at these roads anymore.
Exactly. And
Because just
somebody
digging them
knows
out and
what to-
dumping crap in doesn't work.
Correct. And then from there, you're gonna go out and get some bids.
Yep. And then we'll see if we can afford to do it. Yeah.
Cause I was just wondering if it'd be worth it just to go down those areas that are bad, dig them out, fill them. You know,
Dig them what, out and fill them in?
just the bad areas.
Oh, okay.
Instead of doing the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if that would be more cost effective. The engineer might say, no, that's not gonna work. Why? Because it's just, the water's just gonna build up there. That's gonna perk up.
We did that with Man Road, and you see what the result was.
You did areas.
We did areas, we dug them out, and did it according to the road ordinance. And so consequently, it's one of these, you can tell right where we've done the improvement before. But there's also areas where nothing has been done since the initial build, other than probably maybe a camp or two and that's. But is it cost effective to do a portion of it? Possibly, but then in the long scheme of things, probably better, more cost efficient to do the whole thing.
Yeah, or you're transferring the problem to another section of the road.
Or another time period. Kicking the can down the road.
Gary?
Yeah, you know, the tax levy was cut 2 years. And the reason it was cut was because the board at the time was carrying over several $100,000 each and every year. It wasn't being spent. So it's like, yeah, we must have too much money. That's why the levies were cut. Not just to cut the not just to cut the levy. It was cut because there was excess every year because it wasn't spent. Well, now, yes, we can use it.
Yeah, and like you said, if that's the case, you let the roads go too long, you know, and that's not looking ahead into the future, 10, 15, 20 years into the future, you know. And yeah, okay, the levies there, everybody's used to paying those taxes, at least I was. It didn't hurt me any, you know, and I'm sure it didn't hurt anybody who were used to it, you know. And you're absolutely right, you could use that money 15 years down the road, 20 years down the road. We could have invested it and made something.
Alan, how much is enough raising taxes though? I mean, you can only hammer people so much. Yeah, I sympathize with you. Our road, we live on Roman, it's a piece of shit road,
Yeah,
plain and simple.
I
Worst thing you ever did was when they chip sealed the goddamn thing, guaranteed.
Yep.
But that was previous boards, they thought this was gonna be the greatest thing in the world, blacktopping and chip sealing all these roads. My thought is, I lived on gravel roads all the way through. I lived in McMillan my whole life. I survived, you know. And you keep on taxing people. There's a lot of people, they're not doctors, they're not lawyers, they're not doctors' wives, retired farmers that got money. Right? There's a lot of people that are on fixed income, and it's going to clobber them. Every time, you know, there's always taxes. You got looming over our head, as you well know, $100,000, $100 million. What do you call it?
School board referendum.
Yeah, referendum for Marshfield School District. You know, where's that going to come from? How bad are we all going to get hit on that? No. Personally, if we went back to gravel, it wouldn't bother me in the least.
Yeah, and you know, to your point, when Marvin looked at the chip seal, you know, he just shook his head. Because he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was going to happen within 1 year.
I'll tell you what, though, realistically, when they first chip sealed our road, at that time it was Birch, now it's Roman Road. And it actually held up better than I ever thought it would for the first couple, 3 years, probably. But then eventually, you know, I mean, with the traffic we have out here, I mean, that's just, you know, look at Galvin, look at Stock. I mean, none of them are worth a shit.
Yeah, and not only that, but you got to look at bringing it up to, there's a reason why they call it bringing it up to highway grade.
Decent
Because you've got sewer trucks on it, 5,000 gallon sewer trucks. You've got school buses, which don't weigh a whole lot, you know. But you've got heavy equipment on there.
Well, look at the farming equipment now compared to what it was 15, 20 years ago. I mean, it is huge.
I mean, I sympathize with you guys down there, you know, it's a piece of shit road, it's a piece of shit road. Go slow, I guess, and dodge like you have been doing. And somebody was pissing and moaning about Sawyer Creek Road. So I decided to do it, yeah, that's right, the CFers were here, and they were talking about what, you know, piece of shit road it is. So I decided to go down there and look. Have you ever been down there? It's more patches. You know, Pat had, you know, patched the holes. Holy Christ. It's more patches than roads.
So you could have blacktopped it.
Yeah.
And he put the cheap stuff in, that shit that washes right back out, so that didn't accomplish nothing. But that was really, they were not bullshitting when they said that was a mess, and it was. But basically all these roads are shit. I mean, you know, about the only ones that ain't is what Elm here. You know, this one is pretty good because that's only been done not that long ago. And I like to say, I sympathize with you guys, I really do. But we're in the same boat.
There's a lot of smaller side roads.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a list.
I am just against this tax thing all the time. Tax, raise the levy, raise the mill rate, you know, constantly. I mean, Jesus Christ, that is enough.
Right, but with all due respect, that hasn't happened for how many years? How many years? 10, 15 years?
Right.
For 10, 15 years, your taxes ain't.
And look at the proportion.
And it's been nice.
They go up every year.
But you weren't around, were you at any of the meetings 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever? When we had the famous budget do-over, where during the budget meeting, they voted to raise
No, we voted to cut the levy that time.
No, that was to raise whatever, and that was the budget do-over, and then
Oh,
it
okay.
got voted down, okay? That wasn't good enough for the administration then, okay? They had to have a do-over, so they had another budget meeting. Talked to the attorney, and he said, yeah, that was legal. I thought it was illegal as hell, but I guess not, I ain't a lawyer. So they had another budget do-over.
Oh, boy.
To raise taxes in essence. And that got shot down. The only reason it got shot down was because we had enough people voting against it.
What
And the
you got-
guy that lived right next door up here, Jamie Nowacek and his wife, he was at the meeting, his wife was also. And he says to me, he says, are those people that voted for this, are they retarded? He says, they voted for a tax raise for themselves? I says, yeah, it's an ego thing. That's how I looked at it, it's an ego thing.
What you gotta keep in mind is when it comes to raising the levy, it's the residents' choice, it's not the board. People are voting on that, so,
And that's at the meeting?
that's at the budget hearing.
Okay. All right.
That's not a board decision, you can't do that. Dorothy?
Also, in 2025, we are going to be reevaluated,
Where we reassess.
Yes. Yeah.
so you're going to
That
get,
was my next
you're going to
question.
get a hit there.
Right.
And you're also gonna get a hit when we redo man, because you're gonna have to take out a loan,
Right.
okay?
Right.
So, they'll be going up then too.
At least I know where it's going.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I mean, you're not floating an aircraft carrier at $1 million a day.
No. Yep. Is there any other questions or comments?
Christ, I've been selling lemonade at the end of my driveway to pay my taxes. God, that may be bullshit.
There's a guy behind you who has a question. Yes.
On page 3 at the bottom, we got fire protection. And it looks like we budgeted 107,000. And so far, if I'm reading this right, we've used 66,000 of that already?
That is correct. We have had, our trucks had to go in and get fixed, and the fixes weren't cheap. Our engine just got back, we had to have the pump packing redone, and while they were looking at the pump packing, the transmission to the pump was out. So that's $24,000 right there to fix that. And then our ladder truck had to go in and get fixed. And from this budget, we took 17,000 out to finish paying repairs for 2023 on the ladder truck. So most of our budget is spent fixing our vehicles.
Okay.
What's that? The numbers are right that he's reading. Yep. Yep.
Lori, did you not get some insurance money against that?
We
though?
did, for the ladder truck, it was damaged on a fire, and we did get some insurance money for it, I think we got what, 23 or 24,000 from the insurance truck, something like that, to cover most of it. The 17,000 had to come out of our budget, because there were some other fixes that had to be done on it that weren't related to that damage.
Any other questions?
Do you ever pay out any monies to damaged vehicles due to the road conditions?
No.
Why so? I mean, it's, you know,
Well, what we have done-
we're there to drive safe.
Right.
And then we're not in a safe driving environment, which, you know, going 45 miles, whatever, on Man Road, use that as a tire out, I had nowhere else to go, hit a car going to the ditch. So, you know, trying to get the understanding on that part too, is we're all, you know, supposed to be safe drivers, and keep our cars maintained, as well as our roads being maintained. But then when that doesn't happen, and an accident occurs, you know, the residents left holding the, you know, the bag.
Right. On Man Road, people needed to slow down last spring. That road was completely terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was bad. And I had Pat put rough roadsides out there, and he started patching. And it did get better, and it held up pretty good this last
Yeah,
summer.
it did, yeah.
So we'll be looking at a little bit of that, but as long as we have our signs up, people just need to slow down. I mean,
Man Road's kind of renowned here.
what's that?
Man Road is renowned around the state. Okay. Because, yeah, I mean, it's a big corridor. And
Mhm.
when people are coming down the 13, they're gonna head over to Fleet Farm. They're gonna head over to Walmart.
And Menards,
You're
and
right,
all
I mean,
these,
I
it's a
work in
thoroughfare.
Medford, so, you know, the people
You think-
that
you
people I
think
work
I'll
with
take
are
it?
just going, man, you got terrible roads in your township, you know?
So I
Well,
gotta
sounds
say
like a
one
county
thing
road,
about
doesn't
Man.
Yeah.
The only part of Man Road that is any good at all is when Butch was on the board, that he had it done right. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that was some patching.
Yeah, patch.
We dug out, put a breaker in.
Yeah,
And we fixed the
that's how,
base.
that's how it
It
should
was
have been.
important to fix the base.
Yep.
So what's the timeline on Man?
They're gonna be starting it in August. We're gonna be putting it out for bids, I believe this next month. And then they wanna start in June or July, they're gonna be switching out 3 culverts. And then in August, they wanna start construction and it be completed in October. That's the plan for right now, so. At the engineers right now, so. That's where we're at. Gary?
What people forget about, it's 45 miles an hour. And, you know, I don't care what the speed limit is on any road. The city's roads aren't any better. If you're going too fast for conditions, that's the problem. When the roads are that bad, slow down. You don't have to drive at 45, which nobody does anyway, they're all going faster. It's, you wreck your vehicle, as far as I'm concerned, it's your own fault.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
you would travel that fast on a gravel road.
Yeah.
Some of
yeah.
the roads are in better shape.
I've got to be going 45 with a floaty tire out in the ditch like that. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that thing was, I could have sworn I saw a small vehicle stuck in the hole, you know.
Probably
Looks
had
like
animals
Chicago.
burrowed in there. Yeah, Ron,
How do you enforce that 45?
you don't. It is what it is. You can't enforce the speed limit on
You
any
do
road.
on you cannot, you can on the county roads, you get the Marathon County Sheriff over here. You know, so we're paying 15% of our taxes go over there, you never see a squad car here.
You will see a bond man when I call. And they have sat down there, so, because there were some issues. So they do come out here, but they sit there and just, you know, you see them on E a lot.
Yeah,
So maybe that helps over on man, I don't know, but.
Obviously, yeah, it's reducing speed and knowing the area now,
Yeah.
you know, that's obvious. Sometimes that stuff just pops out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Any more comments? Yeah, Ron.
I gotta thank our fire chief for putting a letter in our newsletter for her comments, and I think everybody should be proud of this department instead of bad-mouthing them, which we hear. Thank you.
Nobody bad mouth.
Who badmouthed them?
I hear it. I'm not gonna say who.
Well,
I hear it.
Nobody
Okay.
bad mouthed anybody here tonight.
Nobody said anything about the fire department did at all.
You're the one that brought it up. You must not have a high opinion of the fire department, huh?
Well, I only spent 35 years on it.
Let's set next year's meeting date. Need a motion.
It's supposed to be the second Tuesday after
Third Tuesday,
election, third Tuesday.
Third Tuesday of April.
which would be on the 15th of April of next year.
I move that we move it to the 15th of April next year.
I'll second.
We have a motion to have our next year's meeting date on April 15th, 2025. Can I get, all those that are in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There's nothing on your agenda. We've always had it here.
It says
Oh,
and
and
location.
location.
I move that the location be left the same as it has been for umpteen years, 6 o'clock
a second on that?
I'll second.
Well, where?
Okay,
Here, have it here.
The reason I have the location on there is because having a meeting here on a Tuesday night interferes with the fire department's training. We had to move our training from tonight to another night. Inconveniences are for members who have young children. They have our full training scheduled for the year. They have their childcare all set up for this night. And we have to move it, and then they have to find other childcare for different days.
This is for next year.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Or so for 2025.
Training is always on a Tuesday night. Meetings are always on a Tuesday night.
Well, I don't think, town hall will work, because it's not big enough.
How many people do you have? It doesn't matter.
Does April 15th fall on?
A Tuesday night?
Yep.
You have to have it on that
Around
day.
30.
Okay, which is small, you know that.
Maybe we can have it on that.
I'm just
The
wondering.
parking lot over by the pavilion isn't big enough.
We
And
can
the
have it
motion
on
on the
the
table,
16th.
huh?
Maybe do it on the 16th.
No, we can't.
State statute says this.
The state statute tells us what we have to have.
We can have it within, I think it's 10 days. The state statute strongly prefers this Tuesday.
Why not use the pavilion?
I don't even have parking over there.
We don't know what the weather's gonna be like.
Yeah. Well, it's heated
It's
over
only
there.
2 meetings a year that this facility is used for the public. And one of them lands on our training night for the fire department.
Well, we got a motion on the table, so.
And this is the discussion board.
I
What was that?
understand what it is.
You know in advance, can't you do that training another day and you know in advance far enough?
We had to move it this year, yeah.
We're talking about the-
Yeah, our training is set on Tuesday nights, and our meetings are set on Tuesday nights.
So we're going forward. Not that hard. Sometime, somewhere you gotta have a change where it's gonna work for you.
Correct.
Good for your department. You know, where it's not, taking out of your time.
Correct. And if we wouldn't have the weather out tonight, our engine and vehicle 8 would be sitting outside. We had the weather, so we put it in here. And for the November meeting, when it's cold, we have our engine and our vehicle 8 sitting outside also. And we have to keep those running so they don't freeze.
How many people are you training at your training? Are there more or less than are here right now?
There's a few more than what's here right now.
No, I mean, more people training.
Oh, in here?
Yes.
How many
I have
people
22
do
on our
training?
roster.
Are they here? That's night.
Do they all show up when they're supposed to, put it that way?
Not all of them, because some have to work nights, some have family
Well, then they miss
obligations.
it anyhow, so what the hell's the
But
difference?
we have an alternate training for those people.
You have what?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, yeah. This is part of the disregard I'm talking about in my letter. Nobody is even giving a squat that we have to move everything for this meeting.
Lori, we have 2 meetings a year.
2 meetings a year, yeah. You don't know how much work goes into this, and you do not know how hard it is to get a meeting pushed from a standard night to a different night.
Yeah, I do.
We also have to
I
follow state
work, you know,
statutes.
And I understand that. You have a town hall, and you have a pavilion that you can use.
this one I asked.
And I get it, but we have trainings and meetings every Tuesday night. It is set the same.
Why not just make it the second Tuesday in April?
We have training.
You have training.
We have training and meetings
Every Tuesday night?
between officer meetings, EMS, and general fire meetings. And then we have 2 nights for training.
We got a big commons area in there, yeah.
So the state won't help you out
So every
with
Tuesday night?
relocating training or times? I
They,
mean, I get
they
where
set
you're
the
at.
training themselves here.
Oh, they set it themselves,
Yeah.
okay.
So are you saying every Tuesday night you have a
Yep,
meeting?
every Tuesday night there's something going on here.
You could use that room there.
We can't do training in there with people out here talking and stuff because it's gonna distract what we're doing in there. And if you want us to be able to do our job correctly and quickly, we don't need distraction from our training.
It's 2 meetings a year, the motion is to be put on the table.
And I think the meeting could be moved at least once. Just
Motion on the
the fire
table,
department.
as they call it.
Meeting here.
The motion has been made to keep the meeting here on, our annual meeting. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I did.
All right, for announcements, we have board of review. Open book for that is April 20th between 6 and 8. Board of review is May 3rd between 6 and 8.
Is it May 3rd or May 1st? Because the newsletter says May 1st, but that says May 3rd. May 3rd is on a Friday.
Okay, May first, sorry about that. May first,
Misprint on here should be May 1st. Want to put your phone number on here?
I'm sorry.
That should be pen. Pen here for you. Your name and phone number down there. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved. So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Didn't hear any decision when I said those minutes for your.
I'll have
I have never been in a situation where things were that inflexible. I worked in some pretty rough environment, just like you did.
I was pretty flexible in my job. They called me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I went in.
They called me any goddamn time I went in. Obstetricians didn't give me. We weren't given a choice. Babies made the decision.
When you got up out of the snow, you don't get a choice.
That's right. Now, that's just insane.